DJ Dewey Rock on the track.
Welcome to Emerge Podcast 360. I'm your host, Maserati. We want to thank you for tuning in. No matter where you are in this metaverse world, we're going to continue to bring you the best quality content and formula that we know how. We want to thank you guys for all the likes, shares, and subscriptions on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and TikTok. Hey, we got a very special guest and a great show for you. This lovely Beyond the Game on this lovely Sunday night. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is being brought to you by Burchell Family Insurance Agency and Kick Thrones of Bastrop, Scrap City, Louisiana, and Involved Social and Civic Club. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said before, we have been getting great reception and feedback from you guys, and we humbly and we greatly appreciate all the love we've been receiving throughout the Northeast Louisiana. We're going to dip in to the old Scrap City, to the class of 1998. We're going to be visiting one of the standouts. He's a graduate of Bastrop High School. He was a 3-year letterman in football and track and field. He was a first-team All-District and Northeast Louisiana in 1998 in football, where he received a LHSA state championship in track and field in a 4x1 relay. He is a 2003 graduate of UNLV with his degree in mass communication, where he was a 4-year letter, and he, y'all, as a redshirt freshman, gained his first letter starting in 11 games for the Running Rebels. He was ranked 7th nationally as a punt returner. He was the UNLV Running Rebels Special Teams MVP in 2001. He was preseason honorable mention All-American, first team All-League, 2002 preseason All-Conference for UNLV Athletics. His pro career consists of free agency with the San Francisco 49ers in 2003, and in 2004 he signed a free agency contract with the Saskatchewan Raiders in the CFL. When in 2005 he would play in the Arena Football League to 2010 with the New Orleans Voodoo, Utah Blaze, and the Las Vegas Gladiators. I give you none only. It's ballers only with our one and only Mr. Travavius Troy Mason is in the building. How you doing today, Troy?
Bro, I'm good. How are you?
Hey, we honored to have you in the building, Doc. We just want to tap into these old UNLV Running Rebels. We know you guys built a little legacy there, going to UNLV, starting off with old Talland Sawyer, but kind of share with us about how it was growing up with Troy Mason in Scrap City.
Oh, man. Growing up in Bastrop, man, it was just, tight-knit community, just tight family, tight friends, and just, blessed, having fun, and just, being loved, and, getting support from everybody, man. It was cool. It was great.
Yeah, growing up here in Scrap City was something special, especially if you was born in the 70s and in the 80s. You really got a chance to have a childhood experience here, and you understood about staying in a child's place. But kind of share with us about your career as an athlete, going all the way back to Pee Wee football.
Well, man, I didn't play much Pee Wee football growing up. My first love was basketball, and then I'm a little vertically challenged on the height side, so I had to switch it over to football. But I was just playing sports and just trying to hang out with my friends. That's where it all started at. I mean, I had a group of friends that was, into sports, and I just wanted to hang out with them. So I started there, and it kind of groomed me, and my mom used it as discipline. So, anytime something's not right, you take those sports away, and then, I had to get my mind right. So, so it was cool growing up in Bastrop playing sports.
Right. You're a very special class of 1998. You guys were like the first team to turn it around and start seeing some prominence and rebuilding it. Troy, take us back to those times when you was a standout athlete with those mighty Rams.
Well, man, I think if I can remember correctly, I want to say 97 was the first year we had Coach Brad Bradshaw as our head coach. And if you know Coach Bradshaw, he's a serious guy. He's serious on that discipline. and I think that's what we needed. And we had a few losing seasons before him, and once he got there and kind of changed the program around, got some good coaches in that kind of loved on us and supported us, and kept us right in the classroom, kept us right off the field, and it showed on the field.
Right, most definitely. But kind of share with us going into the locker room. Like you say, with small stature, how was it in the culture being with Coach Bradshaw and you guys being one of the first class that he could say that he finally built the legacy that would be as we know today?
I mean, it was a grind. It was a grind, but it paid off. I talked to him a little while ago, and he was saying that we was one of the first classes that did it with the least amount of help or support, because we was just getting to that status to where we were winning, and we were starting to get new support from the community, and it was a grind, but we did it, and it kind of started some things. We had a big group of guys that went on to the next level to go on to college and play sports and go play football. And I mean, I take honor in that. Like, we were one of the first classes. I like to say that kind of changed the culture around Bastrop High School.
Right, most definitely, and we give you guys that, and that's why we have you here today, Troy. Not only were you guys the ones to change it around and change the morale in the culture, but you guys did some things that hadn't been done in quite a while, and that was compete at a level where we were respected. But during that time, you was a dual athlete. How were you able to balance that and maintain being in a class that was also about education?
Well, I mean, it came pretty easy, because like I said earlier, my parents didn't play that. If your grades wasn't right, you wasn't doing what you're supposed to do off the field, then you wasn't getting on the field. And we had a few coaches with my coach was John Tappan, and we had Coach Tippett along with Coach Bradshaw and Coach Davis. Those guys were they kind of came up in the same community. My parents knew them. So, back then they could say, hey, if he get out of line, you can get him back in line. So, we just had a lot of love and a lot of support around us. And, it just helped us. It kind of helped pave the way.
Right.
And change that culture.
Right. Now, who are some of the guys that you can think about outside of your classmates that you kind of looked up to growing up here in Scrap City that kind of, helped you, guide you, and pave you along the way?
Well, right off top, I mean, I think you've had him on. Adrian Burnett. AB was very instrumental in paving the way for me, for myself, because like we're good friends, and we were there. He was there playing around the same time I was there. And then you got, Mike Williams. Mike Williams played at Arkansas, and he did big things at Bastrop High. And a few that don't get the recognition that they deserve. Aquarius Winston had a big influence on me. Hazo Causey. These are guys that I watched, growing up. And, those four right there is just ones that, kind of just jump off. They were the same position I played. And, of course, you got Talon Sawyer. He paved the way for a lot of us. We all looked up to Talance, and very good guy. So just off the top of my head right now, those are the ones that I can think of right now. That's players. Now, the coaches at the same time, John Tappan and Coach Tippett, I mean, those guys stayed on us. They were real big influences on us, on me. And, just off the top of my head, those are the ones I can think about right now.
Right. You speak about Hazo Causey, and he's kind of like that unsung hero. He only got 1 year, his senior year, but he was a human highlight film. Kind of share with us about the memories that you remember about Hazo Causey.
Look, I tell people all the time, I was young, so I didn't know really what was going on or how many years he had. I just remember being in the stands, watching him play, watching the swag on the field, and thinking to myself, like, I want to play like him. Don't really know him. I don't really know him personally, but I just remember watching him And then, guys that were closer to my age, Aquarius helped me a lot. And then AB and Mike Williams, those guys were in my ear, and they just kind of, showed me the ropes and showed me how to do it the right way.
Right, most definitely. Troy, when we come back, we want to take an intermission, and we want to jump from being with the Mighty Basket Rams to Lance Sawyer, and you guys kind of setting the trend. You guys end up at UNLV, you and Big Baby. We want to jump into how it was being in Las Vegas all the way from Scrap City back in the late 90s. Is that all right, Doc?
Man, that's good. Sound good to me.
We'll be right back with Scrap City Standout. It's Ballers Only with our own Troy Mason when we return after this intermission.
Immerse 360 Podcast focuses on uplifting rural and urban areas and dire conditions with no solutions by shedding light on pioneers, athletes, and political figures who have made an impression on Northeast Louisiana and surrounding areas. Immerse understands the social and civic needs to love, learn, live, and laugh. So, tap in every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. on all social networks and platforms. Always remember, Immerse 360.
Welcome back to Immerse 360. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Restoration Family Community Center of Robinson and Williams, Morehouse Community Development, Kick Thrones of Scrap City, Louisiana, Stepping Stones LLC of Jonesboro, Louisiana. We're still here with Ballers Only with our own former UNLV standout running rebel, Troy Mason, is in the building. Troy, kind of share with the people about coming from little old Scrap City and traveling to Las Vegas, Nevada, becoming a running rebel.
Oh, man, you're talking about a culture shock. Man, coming from a small city like Bastrop, a close-knit community, and then going to Las Vegas, man, I felt overwhelmed for probably the first year and a half. It kept, every now and then I would think to myself, like, man, what am I doing here? I want to go home, But, I just kind of stayed the course, and, it worked out for me. It worked out for me.
Now, kind of share, how did you actually end up at UNLV, and who guided you along the recruitment process? As we know now today with the UIL, you guys didn't have that. So how did you manage to end up in Vegas?
Well, they were there recruiting Terrell Stevens. They were there recruiting Big Baby. And, of course, they already had Talance. So they were kind of, creating a little pipeline. And I was at track practice one day. And one of the recruiters from UNLV was in town. And he was out there watching us run. And, of course, Coach Brad put in the word for me. And the recruiter there called the receiver coach at UNLV. And back then we had that old raggedy track out there, man. It was like running on the street, so he could hear my feet running. He could hear me as I ran by. And he told him, man, that guy sounds fast. Let's get him. And from that point on, like, they were on me to the point where I was like, God, these guys won't leave me alone. But then it made me feel wanted at the same time. I had a few other offers, not too many, but nobody really showed the interest that UNLV did. And having Terrell going out there already and Talance being there already, I felt like I had a couple homeboys out there that where we could all do this together. And they just stayed the course. They stayed on me and showed me that they wanted me, and I needed that.
You were going to do some phenomenal things at UNLV in your own right, kind of going there with Talance and Big Baby. How was it following those shoes? And Talance had already set a precedent prior to you arriving there.
It was cool, man, because Talance had so much respect out there as far as what he had did on the field and the type of person that he is. to where I just kind of fell in, and they looked at me as, you know, Talane's little brother. So, you know, and he, of course, he looked out for both of us, me and Terrell, and it was an easy transition. They showed me love from day one, and you know, Talans took care of us, and you know, he looked out for us, and the coaches that looked out for him also looked out for us. So it was an easy transition.
You know, being ranked number 7th in the country at one point in your college career at punt return, you know, kind of share with us about some of those highlight moments and what is your most memorable return?
Oh man, let's see. Returning those kicks, man, it just came easy. For one thing, I didn't want to get hit. You know, I wasn't the biggest guy out there, but you know, I was faster than most of them, so I felt like, you know, I mean, you big and you strong and everything, but you're not gonna catch me, right? So, I mean, that returning punches came easy, and along with some guidance from, you know, coaches there, and you know, a few other players that were there that was already doing it before me, it just came pretty easy. And one of my most memorable punt returns was against, I want to say, San Diego State in the year 2000, where it was right before halftime, and they had punted us to us, and there was a flag on the play. And I just remember my head coach, we had the legendary John Robinson at the time. He called the timeout, was like, no, make them, we want the flag, make them punt it to Troy again. Make them do it all over again, punt it again. And when they punted it to me the second time, I took it to the house. And I felt like I gained my coach respect that day. And, yeah, that was my most memorable punt return there.
You know, being in Las Vegas, and like I say, the lights of being from Bastrop, how were you able to keep your focus, and what was that culture and atmosphere like being a student at UNLV?
Well, coming in, it's a challenge, man, because it is Las Vegas. The city, they don't call it Sin City for nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like it's always open. Anytime of day, anytime of night, you wake up, there's something to do. And I just, I had my fun for a little while, and you know, it gets to a point to where it gets old, and I love playing football. So I knew if I got in too much trouble, my grades dropped, or I got in some trouble with the, school, I couldn't play. So I didn't want to come back home like as a failure. You know what I mean? So it was like, I had my fun, and I experienced Las Vegas, but I also, kept my head straight, and stayed on this, walked the narrow path, and just stayed focused and did what I was supposed to do while I was there.
Right. You do great things in Las Vegas. You get your degree in communications. You had a couple free agencies in the professional arena, in the NFL and the CFL. Share with the kids about the opportunities when they're given and the chances that you take when they're given.
Oh man, you got to capitalize. Once you get those opportunities, like you have to capitalize. You got to do everything within yourself and everything you're supposed to do to be able to be successful. Maybe you change your life, change your family's life. So yeah, you definitely have to stay focused. You have to, capitalize on those opportunities, because everybody don't get them. I was fortunate enough to, sign with San Francisco 49ers. I was there for a little while, and, I did the Canadian League and the Arena League for a little while, and, I'm grateful for that. And, but yeah, when you have those opportunities, man, you got to make sure you stay focused and do everything you can to kind of capitalize off of that.
No, I look at, it's like you said, a pipeline, but I'm looking at the pipeline that was starting to build here in Bastrop. Dating back to you guys,
Mm-hmm.
Solomon Lee, around that era, you guys started getting scholarship spontaneously, and I'm looking at the Saskatchewan Raiders, which we know Marshae Green, who also is from Schwab City, who we had on the show early on. We first started the podcast. He was there as well, and I see you end up in Saskatchewan. Give me your
Right.
definition of NFL. Marche said not for long. Give me your definition for
Oh yeah.
not for long.
Oh yeah. That's it. Not for long. No fun league. That's
Right,
but
right, right. Give it to
I,
us, Troy.
I mean it's a business. Like you got to understand it's a business. And you got to do everything in your power to make sure that you can get what you can out of it. They handing out big checks for guys that's playing in that league, and they'll send you home if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Right. So I mean, it's definitely a lot of players say that not for long league, and if you get in there, you can get your opportunity, do what you're supposed to do to kind of stay there and make it happen for yourself and your family.
Right. And I look at it, and I'm listening to Marche as I'm talking to you, and how he felt blackballed due to his size. But you off the top admitted that you kind of understood that, hey, UNLV may have been the pinnacle, but you was given the opportunities, you seized it. It just didn't happen. But I look at you dropping down to the arena level, and it seemed like you finally had found a home there, Troy. How was that experience?
Oh man, I love the arena league. I mean, especially playing the position I played, playing receiver. I had a ball. Of course, the money's not the same. It's actually, I think it's a little bit less now, but there are more opportunities, with the XFL league. But Arena League, it just created an opportunity for me, to continue my career, to keep playing, and to kind of make a living while playing this game. I really appreciate the Arena Football League, and I had a blast playing Arena.
Who are some of the guys over your career that you met, whether it be high school, college, or professional, that have left impression on you and you still kind of keep in contact with?
Oh man, for one, our very own Talance. Talance was a big influence on me around that time because he showed us how to do it. He showed us what to do. Now I'm nowhere close to the athlete that Talance was, but I mean he showed me how to be professional. Basically, if you ever met Talance, I know you have, but he's a people person. He never met a stranger. He'd sit down and talk to anybody, and he treat everybody the same. He's just all around great guy. So of course, I tried to pick that up and put it into my bag, and like he was very instrumental in that, and Adrian Burnett kept in contact with him, and you just like I said, it's a business. When you make it to that level, it becomes a business, and then you have to learn that real quick. You have to learn that. So I had a few people in my corner like those guys to kind of help with that transition.
Troy, and it's not crazy that you said it because it's the truth. But we talk about guys like Talance, Adrian Burnett, the guys that you named, Coach Tippett, whose name has been brought up several times throughout the broadcasting of this podcast. And you speak of Talance, about the well-rounded guy, and he kind of laid a blueprint for you guys for the professionalism. Now, these guys how do you feel about this UIL deal thing? 'Cause some of these guys kind of wilding because they got these contracts. What is your advice to these guys with these UIL deals?
Man, take advantage. Take advantage because we're not. I mean, I don't want to sound too negative, but that's what they're doing to you, right? These universities, these programs, they're making money. Or making profits off your uniqueness, your likeness, your images. So why not you? Right? You go to these places, they're selling your jerseys. Your name's on the media guide, your face is on the media guide, your face is on posters, on billboards and whatnot. So I mean, I think it's a great thing. I just hate I wasn't a part of it.
Most definitely. And you're looking at these kids coming out of high school. And especially look here in Bastrop, we're going to take an intermission so you can speak on that. But one thing that you could share with youngsters across America as they get ready to sign these scholarships and making the correct decision, what are the pointers you could give from Troy Mason?
Man, to stay focused, keep your nose clean, do what you're supposed to do, and just be a sponge. That's one thing I tell people all the time. That's how I felt like I was. Be a sponge. Soak up any information you can get, learn as much as possible, and practice your craft. Be good at what you do, and be professional about yourself, and carry yourself in the correct manner, and things will work out for you.
Right, we're going to take an intermission, and when we come back, we all know that you keep in contact with your mother. She's in the school system, so I know
Right.
you're well aware of what's going on in Scrap City. And when
Right.
we come back, we always ask our guests, looking through a glass, from what you hear, what do you want to say to your Scrap City loved ones and to the youth and to just everyday people about how you feeling about what you're hearing about the city that gave you your opportunity when we come back after this intermission.
All right, that'll work.
We'll be right back with Scrap City is Ballers Only with former UNLV running rebel, Mr. Troy Mason, when we return after this intermission.
You already know. Celebrity, bitch, you ain't a hustler, you would never be. Supermodel with me, got more curve than the letter B. Capital, no Nelly, but a bottom like a apple. Okay. Trapper hoe, I attract more hoes than the capper hoe. Shooters on my bill, don't get caught up in my raps, so no. Flipper bullets, hit you like a fucking linebacker. Okay. Knock your fucking helmet off for playing with my folks. It's more dollars over here, and up there, I am show. Chasing G5, I just wanna fly as I smoke. On a ride, I am hot air balloon. Why go broke? I go get it. The hottest in my city, who fucking with me? Nobody. Young Louisiana did it. I NBA ball with something that will take your face off. Yeah, Nicolas Cage, alright.
Welcome back to Immerse 360. We want to thank you guys for staying tuned in with our legendary standout. He'll always be remembered as the little man that made big moves. Mr. Troy Mason is still in the building. Troy, I know you've been hearing what's going on here in Scrap City through your mother, Miss Matis. She on the front line. They in her face every day. Bruh, what you got to say about what you're hearing about what's going on in your loved one, Scrap City?
Man, I mean, it's just you hear these things, you hear these rumors and whatnot, and man, I just love to see my city just get back on track. I think we're struggling economically, and it's taking a toll on the city all the way around, from the parents and trickling down to the students and the school system. I like to just ask the community to stay focused, keep loving on these kids, keep supporting our kids, and hopefully we can get it back to where we used to be back in the 80s and the 90s, where we're close-knit, thriving city. Hopefully we can get our sport programs back to where they need to be, and just doing the best we can for our kids. The kids are our future, and we need to provide the best opportunity that we can for them to thrive and to be successful. And I just hope and pray for my city, and just hopefully stay positive and get back to where we used to be.
Most definitely, Troy. And knowing that you come from Scrap City and you became a man, have a beautiful family, and you're still doing great things. What are some of the things that you definitely would like to hear that's coming out of Scrap that you are seeing in other places?
Well, man, like living here in Dallas, I've been here for a few years now. I have a few friends here with kids that are in these schools and these sports programs, and they're grooming them early. I've seen 6, 7, 8-year-olds with personal trainers, tutoring programs, after school, one-on-one sessions with top athletes or former athletes that are grooming these kids and getting them ready for the next level, and just showing them how to be successful as an athlete, as a student athlete, So I wish we could get to that, and because we've always produced great athletes coming out of bad. We've always had athletes, even before, success, even those losing seasons. Talens wasn't the only baller that was there around his time. So it's like, and I'm sure it's the same thing now. You have big names that are coming out of Bastrop now, but I'm sure there's some other ones that may fall through the cracks. So I just want, support them all. Support them all, whether it's on the field, off the field. Just love on the kids and support them the best way you can.
Most definitely, Troy, and we appreciate you taking the time to stop through and share your experience being a UNLV running rebel and how you was a beacon light and you represented Scrap City, as you say, in a professional way through it all, through college, all the way to arena football. You did it the right way, and man, we just want to tell you we're proud of you and we appreciate you being a pinnacle for Scrap City.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate what you're doing. We got a lot of people in this community. We got a lot to say, and I appreciate you creating this platform to where we can come on and sit down and talk about it.
Most definitely, bro. And we're trying to plan some camps this summer for the kids. We're trying to work some things out, and we may come together and do another one of those Scrap City Legends camps like we did that time with Oshawott in the Remembrance of Oshawott, and we'd love to have
That's
you
right.
back so the kids can touch you, man.
I love to be back.
Right.
I love to be back. I love to do it.
Yes, sir. I want them to touch you guys and see what real professionals, who paved the way for them to do it the right way. That's right.
Yeah, just let me know, and I definitely do my best to make it there. I definitely be. I'm down for that.
All right, you take care, Troy, man, and we appreciate you, bro. And whatever we can do for you here at eMerge 360 on your endeavors, man, you pick up the phone and you call us, bro.
All right, will do. Thanks for having me.
God bless. I'm your host, Maserati. We want to thank you guys for tuning in for this episode of Beyond the Game. This has been brought to you by Brass Section of Facebook, Stardom Networks, Club Planet, Funksville, Real Talk with Miss Niecy, Yo Looking Ass Entertainment, and Miss Sequisa Gibbons, Above Average Healthcare. Special thanks to 44 Million ENT for helping us out with this broadcast tonight. Hey, we want to tell you guys to continue to hit like, share, and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Until then, I'm your host, Maserati. This has been brought to you by Involve Social and Civic Club, where we understand the social and civic needs of love. Learn, live, and laugh. Until next time, y'all stay involved. Y'all stay encouraged. And most of all, y'all stay immersed. We out of this thing.
I tell you, they saw me come up from nothing, running from a hard time. Late night in the ghetto, hustling up in the hood, thugging dog. It ain't much else to do. And before I let you snooze me, I'm gon' aim and true. A cold boy, pitching coke, man, chasing more joy, shotgun, head game good. Got me hollering, oh Lord, he mad. You love him, you better go holler at your boy. Remember praying for better days. Now we praying for better, yay. I needed the stretch, just trying to give me that better pay. I ain't what's up, please. I bet your girl wanna fucking pop. Cause all this money I'm making, I be up hugging my block. Pressure for bricks that be faking, I be hugging my clock. For real, just wanna be successful, can I live? Been running these streets all my life, can I chill? The realest nigga breathing, I feel. But all this bullshit and fake ass niggas, I can't deal.
I was born to rise, and I won't be denied. You can find me out here, hustling day and night. Cause I'm getting to the paper, looking past these haters. Moving like skyscrapers.